On News Hour tonight, Natasha defies ban, gets heroic welcome in Kogi. Benue residents protest rising insecurity. Das Emir harps on need to uphold traditional values at Bauchi Eid Durbar. And on the foreign scene, 45,000 Ukrainians without electricity after Russian strikes in Ukraine. Good evening and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan received a rousing welcome from supporters in Kogi State on Tuesday, despite a government ban on rallies and processions. Supporters from Kogi Central's 5 local government areas gathered early in Ihima, Okehi local government, to welcome the embattled PDP lawmaker. Amid music and celebration, she arrived dramatically in a white helicopter, sparking cheers. Addressing the crowd, Akpoti-Uduaghan dismissed the government's restrictions, insisting she was merely celebrating Salah with her constituents.
Personal perspective. What I see INEC doing is aiding and guiding the petitioners on how to perfect their illicit acts.
Exactly.
The first time the petition was submitted, they didn't have address, phone numbers, and all of that. So INEC went out to guide them on how to submit information that will perfect their petition.
Is it right?
And what did they do? The petitioners who were from the other party, the APC, now submitted a letterhead. What's the name of it? Kogi Central Political Frontier. Yes. And the address there was number 4, Oboroke. That address does not exist. And we ran a check on the status of registration of the association which sponsored my recall, Kogi Central Political Frontier, and the CAC report came negative that association is not registered. So I'm still waiting. I'm wondering why INEC has not yet made a statement to that effect, or sent people down to Oboroke here, which is just 5 minutes away, to ascertain whether the address is real, or have we stooped to the point whereby fictitious non-existing associations and individuals can call for the recall of a senator? Are we in a kangaroo country? No. We should not allow that. Yes. So now, I don't know whether the process will be stalled, but we are in court as well. Also, I don't know when they will come down here to verify you, but I will say this. If the time ever comes for the verification of the 250,000 people that signed for my recall, I trust that you will do right.
Meanwhile, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa, has accused Governor Usman Ododo and the Kogi State Police of politically motivated interference in Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's visit to her family home. The group alleged that the police, acting on the government's directives, falsely cited security concerns to justify the obstruction. Huriwa condemned the move as an abuse of power and called for an investigation into the police's actions. In Benue State, angry residents of Otupo in the state have taken to the streets in protest against the rising cases of killings and kidnappings in the area. Reports say the demonstrators, chanting "We no go gree," blocked major roads, demanding urgent action from the government and security agencies to address the growing insecurity. One of the protesters, who identified himself as Daniel Oche, lamented the frequent attacks, describing them as a constant recurrence. He also made a shocking revelation, alleging that electricity is always cut off in the community before each attack. The protest, which has drawn a large crowd, follows a series of deadly attacks in the area. Residents say the violence has forced many to flee their homes, while those who remain live live in constant fear. We now have joining us at this time Hope Abba, Daily Trust reporter in Benue State, to shed more light on the incident. Good evening, John, and thanks for joining us. Can you hear me, Hope?
Hello, good evening. Hello?
Hope Abba, can you hear me? Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
All right, can you tell us what you know about the said cases of killings in the, Otupo area?
Okay, basically, in recent times there have been sort of kidnappings and killings in Asatu, a suburb of Otupo town in Benue State. Yesterday, we learned that some gunmen killed a title holder in the area and went away with his wife. And that was what sparked the outrage today, that residents of the town poured into the street to protest incident killing in the area. Because the day before, that was Monday, there was another killing that happened in that area. A woman was killed and her son was forcibly taken away as well. So the people poured into the street today, blocked major road to protest and demand government urgent action as security to fish out the killers of these people, because according to them, many of such things have been going on in recent times which has not been reported. But of course, this yesterday incident sparked outrage in the area.
All right, so what is the government saying about this?
Well, as at now, the state government has not made any public statement in that direction. But of course, the Benue State Police Command too have put a call to the public relations officer of the Benue State Police Command and sent messages, but she has not responded to that yet. But the senator representing Benue South Senatorial District, Comrade Abamoro, has already reacted, asking the state government and the police to fish out the killers of members of his constituency. And he's also demanding that security be set up in the area to meet this incident killing and kidnapping in the bush.
Thank you so much, Hope Abba, for joining us and giving us that update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And moving on, a leaked unsigned document claiming to be the Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal's judgment has sparked widespread debate emerging just hours before the official verdict. The document suggests a split decision, with two justices upholding Governor Monday Okpebolo's victory, while one dissented in favor of PDP candidate Aswe Igudalu. While some question its authenticity, others see it as a preview of the tribunal's likely ruling. A stray bullet fired by vigilantes in an attempt to disperse hoodlums reportedly killed a 12-year-old boy Adnan Bulana in the Soje's A area of Mina, the Niger state capital. The vigilantes had reportedly invaded the area on Tuesday afternoon to arrest suspected miscreants when they were attacked by the suspects, leading to gunfire and the use of tear gas. The boy was reportedly sent on errand by his mother when the stray bullet hit him. A resident, Isa Ahmed, said the boy was confirmed dead at the Mina General Hospital. In another incident, one person was stabbed at Ongwanruka, Maitumbi, Mina, during a clash between rival groups of hoodlums. When contacted, the spokesperson for the Niger State Police Command, SP Wasiu Abiodun, confirmed the two incidents. Operatives of the Delta State Police Command have intensified their crackdown on criminal elements, leading to the arrest of suspected kidnappers and armed robbers, and also recovered high-caliber firearms and ammunition. The operation, spearheaded by the Commissioner of Police Special Assignment Team, extended beyond the state, resulting in major breakthroughs in Rivers, Kogi, and Delta states. The police, in a statement in Asaba by the State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Bright Edge, said operatives led by ASP Julius Robinson tracked down a suspected kidnapper, Chideye Muhammad, to a hideout in Rivers State. It said following his arrest, Muhammad confessed to being part of a gang terrorizing Ugeli, Agbaho, and other parts of Delta State while using Rivers State as a base. The statement added that he later led officers to a concealed stash of weapons in a bush near a trailer park where one AK-47 rifle loaded with 13 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition was recovered. In another raid in Kogi State, police operatives acting on credible intelligence stormed Anyangba town in the Kina local government area, leading to the arrest of 3 suspected armed robbers and gun runners. Police operatives at the Zone 2 Police Command, Onikan, Lagos, have detained a syndicate for allegedly trafficking girls from Nigeria to Mauritania for prostitution and sexual exploitation. The Zonal Public Relations Officer, CSP Umma Ayuba, confirmed this in a statement on Tuesday in Lagos. She said the syndicate was apprehended on March 22nd at the command in the Mehran area of the state. The PRO, who stated that the suspect confessed to the crime, added that her accomplice, the second suspect, admitted being contracted by the first suspect to recruit girls as domestic staff in Mauritania. According to her, investigations is ongoing, while the suspects will be charged to court upon completion. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has cautioned members of the public, particularly youth groups and hiking enthusiasts, against embarking on camping and hiking activities without notifying security agencies. In a statement on Tuesday, the FCT Commissioner of Police, Ajao Adewale, emphasized the security risks associated with such outings, particularly in remote and unsecured locations. Adewale underscored the need for proper coordination with law enforcement to ensure safe routes and adequate security arrangements. He further advised that effective communication with law enforcement before and during such activities could reduce safety risks and enhance emergency response. The police urged residents to report suspicious activities and seek security coverage by contacting the FCT Command through any of its emergency lines. The Anambra State Police Commissioner Ikioye Orutugu has announced an overhaul of the Criminal Investigation Department as part of ongoing efforts to enhance intelligence gathering and security operations in the state. The CP also directed the immediate restructuring of the CID formation and approved the creation of a political desk unit within the department tasked with the monitoring of political developments. A statement issued by the Police Public Relations Officer, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, on Tuesday noted that the unit is saddled with conducting threat assessments, implementing risk management strategies, and providing security guidance for political campaigns and other sensitive events. Ikenga said this follows a strategic meeting held on March 29th with the sectional heads of the Criminal Investigation Department to assess emerging crime trends and enhance the investigative capacity of officers within the department. The CP reaffirmed the command's commitment to proactive policing, professional excellence, and the safety of all residents of Anambra State. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Major General Olufemi Oluyede, has assured that the Army will empower frontline troops across war theater commands with logistics, welfare, and operational capacity to enable safeguard the country against adversities. He stated this during an Eid al-Fitr Salah luncheon with recuperating troops of Operation Hadinkai at the Malari cantonment in Maiduguri. While acknowledging the efforts and sacrifices of the troops, he noted that the Nigeria Army under his command will prioritize national security for sustainable economic growth and development, which aligns with President Tinubu's mandate. Meanwhile, the Theater Command of Operation Hadinkai, represented by his deputy, charged troops to be steadfast and committed to facilitate the return of normalcy to the Northeast region to enable socio-economic activities to thrive.
Despite the grave dangers you face, your sacrifices have ensured the security and stability of our country, demonstrating your resilience, courage, and professionalism while discharging your responsibilities. In keeping with the tenets of my command philosophy, I remain committed to strengthening the operational capacity, welfare, and combat readiness of our troops. This underscores the vital role of discipline, professionalism, and interagency collaboration.
We implore you to develop and sustain community resilience in the fight against insurgency in order to facilitate the return to normalcy. To our indefatigable and amiable Chief of Army Staff, we admire your determination and leadership in driving our efforts to protect our nation and its people. I also want to acknowledge the collaboration and support we have received from other security agencies and civil organizations. Your contributions have been invaluable, and we look forward to continuing our partnership in the fight against insurgency.
Now, some youths in Iware, Ardokola local government area of Taraba State, have threatened to set ablaze the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC office in the state. Their threat follows the death of a 42-year-old resident of the state, Yunus Sakaka, who was allegedly tortured to death by NSCDC operatives. According to Zagazola Makama, a security analyst, Kaka was arrested after Bilyaminu Adamu, a resident of the state, told security operatives that he gave Kaka 2 stolen phones. In an attempt to extract a confession from Kaka, security operatives tortured him to the point that Kaka became unresponsive and was taken to the Miet Allah hospital in Iware by his brother. After Kaka was confirmed dead in the hospital, news of his death sparked unrest in the community. The security expert added that authorities revealed that investigations into the incident are ongoing. Kaduna State Governor Ubasani has warned traditional leaders to desist from illegal encroachment and grabbing of land. He gave the warning during this year's Eid al-Fitr Salah homage, Gaiswar Salah, at the Emir of Zazzau's Palace in Zaria. Governor Sani noted that the state government has been receiving complaints of illegal grabbing of land by village and ward heads. He stressed that all lands belong to the government, hence the need to observe due process of acquiring it from relevant authorities in the interest of peace and stability of the society. The governor, who was represented by Mukhtar Shehu, the special advisor on traditional affairs, also urged traditional leaders to maintain the existing peaceful atmosphere prevailing in their domains and the state as a whole for more progress. He tasked farmers to return to their farms as the security situation has significantly improved in parts of the state. The Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, on Tuesday said a minibus collided with a Lagos Waste Management Authority Loma truck, leading to the death of one person. The LASEMA Permanent Secretary, Dr. Olufemi Oke Osanyi Tolu, who confirmed the incident in a statement, said the accident occurred at about 11:59 p.m. on Monday night. He identified the deceased as a Loma official, adding that the incident took place in the Ketu area of the state. He said the affected Loma compactor truck had been moved to the Ketu police station. This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. Dutse Emirates showcase rich cultural heritage. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Natasha defies ban, gets heroic welcome in Kogi. Benue residents protest rising insecurity. Now moving on to more stories, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has described this year's Gusau Durbar as an event to promote cultural ties, unity and peaceful coexistence among the people. The governor, who was excited about the event, promised to make that of next year a bigger fiesta that will enhance the cultural heritage of the people and boost economic growth. The report.
Gusau Durbar features a colorful display of horse riding, where participants showcase their riding skills and elaborate horse decorations, traditional music, dance, and acrobatic performances, highlighting Hausa's cultural heritage. Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State, who adored himself in royal regalian, believes the Durbar Festival will foster social bonding and unity among participants and spectators, as well as promote the message of peace among the citizens.
From what you've seen, you can see how happy everybody is. I mean, that should tell you that good things are coming to Zamfara State. The insecurity situation is going very, very down and will continue to fight insurgency by the grace of Allah so that our people can sleep very well and business activities will prosper in Zamfara State.
For the Emir of Gusau, Ibrahim Bello, the Durbar is one of their venues to preach peace and unity in diversity, highlighting the need for government to tackle the poverty and unemployment rate, which will help reduce insecurity facing Zamfara and Nigeria at large.
The advice is let them be loyal. Let them be loyal to the Emirates or to whatever. As it is part of it. Honesty is one of the dominant factors that we go. So we are ready to go along with anybody who is loyal, who is honest, who is ready to do what is expected of him to do.
The Gusau Durbar was witnessed by Governor Dauda Lawal, top officials and other guests.
Hawan Nasarawa, a significant cultural event in Kano State, has again been held to the delight of many on the third day of Eid al-Fitr. This year, however, the celebrations were conducted with a heightened focus on peace and security amidst the backdrop of economic strain. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports on the day's observations.
From tradition, Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II and his entourage of traditional title holders traveled by vehicle convoy instead of the customary horse ride. The convoy proceeded along Zaria Road and Maiduguri Road before moving to the Kano State Government House, bypassing the usual route past the Nasarawa Palace. This decision was made to mitigate potential security disruptions. The Emir's meeting with Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf at the Government House underscored the collaborative relationship between the state's traditional and government institutions. We thank the government of Kano State for prioritizing education, agriculture, and healthcare in the state. At this time, nothing is more urgently needed by our people than a reduced cost of living, improved healthcare, and better education. Economic challenges have noticeably impacted the festivities as recreational areas and fun spots, typically bustling during the Eid, experienced significant reduced attendance. Many residents chose to celebrate more modestly with family and friends.
truly there's economic hardship. Things are really hard and everybody's finding it difficult to, have fun. But today being Eid, Eid al-Fitr, the Salah day, we still had to come here for our kids and make sure they have a good time and, create beautiful memories. Although the country is really hard, it's crazy hard right now because transportation to get here and basic survival things you need is difficult to get. And things are really difficult for the common man. Because usually, I came here last Salah and the crowd here was, it was more than this. But today, 2025 is very low.
Yeah, so it's Salah now, it's celebration. So, and you have to cheer the kids up. They cannot be seeing other children out. So anyhow you do it, you just have to squeeze. Even though it's not easy, but you have to try.
The economic of this country marked up, pushed a lot of people into corner to the extent whatever they are earning in this life cannot even feed them and their families, talk less of having a savings that will now make them feel comfortable to bring their children to places like this. The things are hard these days. When you have a little bit to eat, then think of savings also. Out of every savings, you know how to share it depending on your pocket. Think of their fees, feeding, then think of their welfare. After the welfare, under the welfare, in a situation like this, during festivity period, you have to strive and get them what will make them happy.
I'm here with my parents, with my brothers and sisters. I come to celebrate the Salah. But I'm calling the government, most especially the federal government. They have to call to look inside. So many people are in bad situation right now because the economy is bad. Food, nothing to people to survive themselves. At least they should do something on it.
Despite the more restrained atmosphere, the core essence of Eid al-Fitr remained evident as Kano residents continued to uphold their religious and cultural observances. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Dutse Emirate showcased its rich cultural heritage as Emir Hamim Nuhu Sanusi, accompanied by his council, led a traditional Hawan Bariki procession to the government house a day after Eid celebrations. This age-old tradition, observed following Ramadan and the Salah festival, symbolizes unity and continuity within the Emirate. The report.
During the vibrant Durbar, Emir Sanusi, resplendent in regal attire and mounted on horseback, was received by Governor Omar Namadi at the government house in Dutse. The Emir conveyed two key messages: appreciation for the state's developmental projects and a request for further initiatives to address the needs of his people. The Emir specifically commended Governor Namadi for significant progress in road infrastructure, agriculture, healthcare, and human development. He acknowledged the government's efforts in empowering communities and fostering sustainable growth across the region. We thank you for the road construction across Jigawa State and the water projects. Farmers are grateful for the subsidized fertilizer and modern farming mechanization. Governor Omar Namadi expressed gratitude to the Emir and the 5 emirates in the states for their contributions to security and stability. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to further developmental projects to improve living standards. Your Royal Highness, I have noted your request regarding flood disasters and erosion. I assure you that in the coming weeks, we will announce tenders for necessary work across Jigawa State to prevent floods and soil erosion. These issues will be effectively addressed. The Hawan Bariki procession drew a large and enthusiastic crowd, including children, women, men, the elderly, and non-indigenous residents who witnessed the event's grandeur. The display of cultural elegance, rhythmic drumming, and vibrant traditional attire highlighted the enduring spirit of the Dutse Emirate, strengthening the bonds between tradition and governance in Jigawa State.
In Bauchi, the Emir of Das, Usman Bilyaminu Othman, has emphasized the need to uphold tradition, cultural values, diversity and tolerance among different ethnic groups in the emirate. Emir Othman disclosed this at the annual Salah Durbar, known as Hawan Daushe, held at their old ancestral palace. Trust TV's Adamu Imam was at the occasion and filed in this report.
As part of the celebration, the Emir usually moves around communities in the evening, acknowledging cheers from the people before proceeding to the main ground, designed to hold the traditional event. The first point of call is the traditional title holders, where he extends the homage earlier paid to the Emir and government officials as tradition demands to them. The traditional cultural display showcasing the rich culture of this emirate follows suit to entertain spectators. In his annual Durbar message, the Emir Osman Bilyaminu Othman assured that the tradition will be sustained for generations to come due to its significance. In times like this, we always come together from various ethnic backgrounds to showcase what we have and to celebrate Eid al-Fitr in our own way. I call on the people of Das to continue supporting the present government for sustainable development, peace and progress. Responding, the State Governor Bala Mohammed, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Isa Hamayo, stressed the importance of unity and partnership for peaceful coexistence between the traditional institution and rural communities. I urge people to pray for solutions to the problems of insecurity facing our border communities. In the not too distant past, we have had reports of kidnappings and armed banditry from here and there. Despite government efforts, I urge traditional institutions to caution their subjects and also look out for suspicious movements around their domains and report immediately to the appropriate authorities. Some youths in the community and other well-wishers acknowledge the cultural diversity in the celebration and share their experiences of Hawan Daushe and its uniqueness.
This particular, we have dishes the kind of
as you can see, they are here with all their people. Every district head is representing his people, and these people are here with him to conduct the Salah and to pay Salah homage to the Emir of the Salah.
The whole of Nigeria, it starts from traditional and culture. So everything beyond this country, so it's about fruitful fathers.
The Emir will return to the palace in company of all his district heads, signifying the climax of memorable Hawan Daushe. From this emirate, Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break. Many thanks for staying with us. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has resumed loading of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, on trucks for oil marketers. With the suspension of Naira from crude program, rising price of crude oil and foreign exchange issues, the 650,000 barrels per day BPD refinery stopped loading of trucks based on Naira. While loading by ships on dollars basis continued, the refinery requested oil marketers having an arrangement with it to top up payments so they can be supplied with petrol. However, checks indicated that many companies, including MRS Oil and Gas, which complied, were being loaded at 880 Naira per litre. A reliable industry source who confirmed the development said loading by trucks has commenced for oil marketing companies, which have added more monies. Meanwhile, petrol prices have risen across the country, with new pump and depot prices reaching up to 960 Naira per litre and 900 Naira per litre, according to the latest price list obtained from MRS Oil and Gas. Nigeria has called for collaboration with the Sahel and West African countries on information and data sharing for effective border control. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made the call on Tuesday while addressing newsmen on the sidelines of the summit on border security in London. According to him, organized immigration crimes were not an isolated problem to a particular country, emphasizing that since it is a shared problem, shared solutions must be preferred. The minister acknowledged that border crimes were of great concern to the federal government, hence the implementation of strategies towards combating such crimes. He underscored Nigeria's commitment to strengthening its immigration policies and working with global partners to tackle transnational crimes such as human trafficking, smuggling, and document fraud. Asian and European markets squeezed out gains on Tuesday, clawing back some of their recent hefty losses, though sluggish sentiment and increased uncertainty saw gold hit another record high as Donald Trump prepares to unveil sweeping tariffs. Investors have been rushing to position themselves for the U.S. President's Liberation Day on Wednesday, when he warned he would impose levies on all countries for what he has said is years of them ripping off Americans. Trump said Monday he would be very kind when he unveils the tariffs, but with little detail on who will be hit with that. Trading floors are awash with uncertainty, hammering equities across the board and stoking recession fears. Trump's threat last week to impose 25% tariffs on car and parts imports added to the dour mood, and some warned the volatility would likely continue as governments react to the measures by either appeasing the Republican or retaliating in kind. On Tuesday, Vietnam said it will slash duties on a range of goods including cars, liquefied gas, and some agricultural products. Thomas Lubunga, a war criminal convicted by the International Criminal Court, has announced the formation of the Convention for the Popular Revolution (CPR) movement in the eastern Congo's Ituri province. The announcement comes as Congolese armed forces have been struggling for months to fight off a rapid advance from another rebel group, the Rwandan-backed M23 movement, into North and South Kivu. It is not the first time that Lubanga would be at the helm of a rebel movement. In the early 2000s, he founded the Union of Congolese Patriots (UPC) movement, a political and military group involved in the Ituri conflict. In 2012, Lubanga was convicted to 14 years in prison for recruiting child soldiers, but was released in 2020. He is currently based in neighboring Uganda. Zimbabwe police on Tuesday said they had arrested 95 people after a day of protests called by opponents of President Emerson Mnangagwa. The group appeared before a court in Harare on charges of promoting public violence. Turnout for the demonstrations was low, with most people staying away from the streets. A copy of the police charges accused the suspects of throwing stones and barricading a street while they gathered at Harare's Freedom Square. Schools and businesses were closed as people did not turn up for the protest called for a faction of veterans of the country's 1970s liberation war against white minority rule. Government officials and the police had encouraged the public to ignore the protest call and go about their usual routines. Tens of thousands of people in southern Ukraine have been left without power after Russian strikes, despite the Kremlin's claims it is not launching attacks on Ukrainian energy structure, Kyiv said on Tuesday. Russia has rejected a joint U.S.-Ukrainian proposal for an unconditional and full ceasefire, but says it agreed to a temporary halt on Ukrainian energy sites. Kyiv says Russia has repeatedly hit energy sites anyway. Russia has launched systematic aerial attacks on Ukrainian power plants and grid since its invasion. Moscow has also accused Kyiv of striking Russian energy sites and on Tuesday said there had been fresh attacks in the Russian region of Belgorod and the partially Moscow-controlled Ukrainian region in the country. A massive fire caused by a gas pipeline leak on Tuesday forced people from their homes and injured more than 100 during Eid celebrations near Malaysia's capital, fire officials said. The valve to the affected pipeline belonging to Malaysia's state-run oil firm Petronas has been shut off, the fire officials said in a statement. While the early morning blaze was coming under control in the afternoon, more than 100 people were injured, the fire department said. About 60 of the injured were hospitalized. Selangor Deputy Police Chief Mahmud Zaini Abu Hassan was quoted as saying by local broadcaster Asron Awani. No deaths were reported, but about 50 houses were affected by the blaze, the fire department said. Residents were enjoying a public holiday for Eid celebrations in Muslim-majority Malaysia when they were forced to flee the suburb area. A volcano has erupted on the Rex Janes Peninsula in the southwest Iceland after a nearly town and Blue Lagoon Spa, a popular tourist destination, were evacuated. Iceland's meteorological office said the eruption started around 9:45 local time, just north of the small town of Grindavik. Less than an hour later, the crack that had opened in the ground was 700 meters wide and continued to grow. The eruption occurred after earthquakes had hit the area known as Sunnuk Crater Range around 6:30 local time. Grindavik and the Blue Lagoon had already been ordered to evacuate ahead of the eruption. Roads in and out of the town remain closed, but flights are currently not affected. Myanmar had held a minute silence on Tuesday in tribute to victims of a catastrophic earthquake that has killed more than 2,000 people, buckling roads and flattening buildings as far away as Bangkok. 4 days after the shallow 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck, many people in Myanmar are still sleeping outdoors, either unable to return to ruined homes or afraid of further aftershocks. Sirens rang out at 12:51 local time and the precise time the earthquake struck on Friday, bringing the country to a standstill to remember the dead. Mandalay, the country's second biggest city with 1.7 million inhabitants, suffered some of the worst destruction. Outside the Sky Villa apartment complex, one of the city's worst-hit disaster sites, rescue workers stopped and lined up with hands clasped behind their backs to pay their respects. Officials and attendants stood behind a cordon, watching relatives further back as the sirens wailed and a Myanmar flag flew at half-mast from a bamboo pole tied to a rescue tent. Taiwan has drawn up plans to help local industries hit by possible U.S. tariffs, an island's economic minister said on Tuesday as Donald Trump prepares to unveil sweeping levies against all trade partners. The U.S. president is expected to announce reciprocal tariffs on Wednesday when he was dubbed Liberation Day, saying Washington was fighting back after years of being ripped off. Since returning to office in January, Trump has threatened duties to fix what he says are trade imbalances and push companies to shift manufacturing operations to America. Taiwan's trade surplus with the United States is the seventh highest of any country, reaching $73.9 billion in 2024. Koo added that a plan will be announced on Thursday after Trump revealed who would be targeted by the tariffs. Taiwan, a powerhouse in semiconductor chip manufacturing, has pledged to increase investment in the United States in a bid to head off tariffs. Erling Haaland will be out of action for up to 7 weeks after suffering an ankle injury, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola said on Tuesday. The prolific 24-year-old Norwegian was injured in Sunday's 2-1 FA Cup quarter-final win at Bournemouth. Having just scored his 30th goal of the season to level the tie, he was then hurt in a challenge with Bournemouth midfielder Lewis Cook. City said in a statement on Monday that they expected the forward will be fit in time to play before the end of the season, including the FIFA Club World Cup. City are currently 5th in the Premier League and battling to secure a spot in the Champions League next season. Guardiola's side will host struggling Leicester on Wednesday and face Manchester United at Old Trafford soon. And let's join Adeni Ajishafe for more sports updates.
The Package B multipurpose Hall of MK Abiola Stadium is in good shape ahead of expectations from the 24 clubs that are ready to compete in the 2025 edition of the Women Volleyball. From Egypt to Benin Republic, Senegal to Botswana, the women teams can't wait for action to begin. Two teams from Nigeria, the Nigerian Custom Women Volleyball team and Chief of Naval Staff Spikers, are ready for the tournament. In Nigerian Customs led by Adewale Adeniyi has put in place all modalities for a smooth tournament. Member Nigeria Volleyball Federation Olurode speaks more on the competition.
It's a worldwide event. We had a competition that brought many clubs and countries together several years ago, and for this board, it's important that we also ensure that we have international competitions taking place in Nigeria. One, you use it to build your economy. The sports economy. Two, players at home also get to learn one or two things. The coaches do learn, the players do learn. And for friendship among the youth in Africa, this is very important. So we are happy that this is coming up at this time. And hopefully the country is going to gain from it, the players are going to gain, and the spectators have, the students are on holidays, and I believe many of them will come in to come and watch the matches.
The effect of hosting a sporting event will be felt by young Nigerians who will have a first-hand experience watching the games, as Amoron explains.
We want them to have a first-hand information about volleyball, practically, physically, and that is one of the reasons for hosting. The Customs Controller General, who has deemed it fit to bring this competition to light, must have his own enough reasons for doing that, so which I cannot enumerate here now. But I know that when any competition that you are holding worldwide is, an avenue for peace, unity, togetherness, love, is to come and share ideas. So many things are involved. As you can, maybe as you were coming, you see outside, commercial activities are ongoing, so they are affected too. So many people are benefiting from this championship.
The idea of hosting and winning when the competition is fairly competitive is captured by the Deputy Controller Correctional Service, citing Nigerians' hope of hosting and winning the tourney.
So our belief is that Nigeria, why not? Being the host, I'm not talking of home advantage, properly with the normal rudiments of the games, with proper refereeing and every other thing. Why not? Nigeria can win the championship. We have what it takes. We have the materials, we have the agility, we have the wherewithal to win. All the participating teams in Nigeria, the Chief of Army Staff female team, the Customs female team, why not? They have been the one winning the championship in Nigeria. They can as well win it.
Volleyball enthusiasts will experience first-hand action in women volleyball for the next 12 days as African women clubs compete in the FCT. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And now on a sad note, a former president of the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation, NTF, Abdullahi Saidu, has reportedly died a few months to the federation's election. Before his death, which was made known on Tuesday, Saidu was the serving president of NTF. In October 2021, Saidu Abubakar was elected president of the NTF in a unanimous decision which saw past leader Margaret Benga unable to garner a single vote. In a 4-year term, delegates from 22 associated federations participated in the electoral process in Abuja as the new was also voted in. The election to elect new leadership of the NTF will come up this year, 2025. And with that, we wrap up News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. Goodbye.